Call the meeting to order. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You made it, Joe.
Thank you and welcome to the October 18th, 2016 Post Falls City Council meeting. We do not have a clerk tonight. We've got our boss, Deborah Raymer, sitting in. I just call her boss. It's easier. So, Deborah, please note that all council members are present with the exception of Mr. Wolf. I anticipated that he was going to be here, but perhaps he's still out of town. Tonight we did have a Eagle Scout Award, but our young scout has not shown up yet again. So if he does show up in the next 3 minutes, which is about how long this meeting will last, we will interrupt to present it to him. So,
Sure, let us know.
are there any amendments to the agenda?
We have none tonight.
Are there any declarations of conflict?
No?
Would you please present the consent calendar?
Item A is minutes, October 4th, 2016, City Council meeting. Item B is payables, September 27th through October 10th, 2016. Item C is purchase of a combination sewer cleaning truck. Item D is request by the parks to surplus equipment. Item E is retention of a water rights attorney. And item F is additional services agreement with JUB Engineers for the tertiary membrane pilot testing project. And item G is award of fuel bid 2016 to Coleman Oil.
Any questions on the?
I just have a quick question. We have an attorney for the
Water rights?
water rights? That's a separate attorney?
Yes, we plan to retain a separate attorney to specializes in water rights.
Okay.
I have a question specific to that. Is there any specific issues that have come up recently that are spurring this hire, or is this just a continuation of the ongoing 25-year?
Yes. So, a little bit of history. The staff that is here currently, that's working on your water, Russ is new since our claims have been submitted. I'm new since the claims have been submitted. Our water supervisor is new. So the staff that actually filed our claims with IDWR, they're no longer with the city, and the handoff maybe wasn't as smooth as we would have liked. So we've had some inquiries from IDWR that staff's been scrambling a bit to try to find the information to submit them. So we want to make sure because the claims for the basin that we're in are going to be adjudicated next year. We want to make sure that our claims are up to snuff, that we've got everything submitted, that we've got documentation on the record so that we don't miss something. And we thought it made sense to hire this particular firm because of their expertise. That's all they do. They represent cities in this process. They're both former assistant attorney generals who worked with IDWR in the adjudication for the Snake River Plain. So they know this stuff cold, and it made a lot of sense because the adjudication is happening elsewhere in the state to have someone that's in that vicinity who can handle it and frankly piggyback a little bit with one of our neighbors. So if they have to come up here, we're sharing the freight to get them up here.
How long is the contract?
So it's not a length. It's essentially a time and materials contract. So we will provide them the information. They'll review our claims, make sure that we're not missing anything, help us fill in the blanks if we are missing anything. And if we don't need them anymore going forward, that'd be the end of that.
So there's no ongoing retainer for a period of time or anything?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
That's right. I got questions about other things too, if nobody else has
Go ahead,
questions
you
on
have the
that.
floor.
This is just a dumb question, I think a typo, but purchase of to surplus equipment, the end of that in the memo said they will either be disposed of by auction, period. And so by either, there's going to look like there's going to be two choices, but there's only one. So is there something that was left out, or is it all going to go by auction?
The parks equipment typically goes all by auction or we throw it away. I mean, that's the two options that we have, so I don't remember specifically in that memo.
Yeah, I apologize if there was a typo. What happened was the new maintenance manager had thought there was three options, and his initial memo listed those three options. And then I noticed on the grid that listed the equipment on the back, it all listed in that one column auctions. So I asked Dave if that should be changed to, and he said
Okay.
yes. But then back on our Shelley's memo, I apologize, I should have caught that typo.
I just thought
so it is all auction.
I figured it was a copy and paste thing, but I just wanted
Yeah,
to.
it's all auction.
And then there was one more. Oh, the tertiary membrane pilot testing, was that, I don't know if this is for Russ or who, but is that something that was just completely unforeseen, or is this just, I assume it's all above board, but it drives me nuts sometimes when a contract started, and then they always get bigger and they never get smaller, so.
Yeah. Thank you, Joe. Members of the council, Russ Cannell, Public Services Director. We're working through our contract with JUB and their consulting group. That part of that consulting group is a company called SPI out of California that specializes in this tertiary technology and designing these systems for wastewater facilities around the country. And so when we began our discussions with them, an alternative came up that hadn't been thought of before. And that is a high rate clarification process, which would be a precursor to the membrane systems. The high rate clarification has the potential to reduce the number of tertiary treatment filters that we may need, and it would allow for that system to function more efficiently, which results in potential cost savings on membrane cost. And so in order to test that system, that is part of what we're seeing here, is testing the high rate clarification system. That would be a precursor to the original pilot test, which was scheduled to be done without that system attached to it. So we're learning, we're discovering, we're looking for ways to save money. We're optimistic that this may do that. It's a little too early to say for sure, but primarily the work associated with this change order is around the high rate clarification system. We've also, another small piece of the change order results around adding a third membrane company to the review of our membranes. So originally we were planning on testing 2 membranes, going out with an RFQ, looking at several different companies, coming up with the best 2 and testing those at our plant. It turns out that the rack system, the universal rack system that we put these filters in, can handle 3 filters. We felt that we probably would get a better price if we were able to prove that 3 companies have the potential to provide filters to the city. So we're trying to create the opportunity for competitive bidding at the end of the pilot test, and that's why another component of the change order is to go to 3 rather than just 2, in order to hopefully gain a better price in the end.
What's the potential ROI if everything goes as hoped?
It's good. The ROI is good. Again, we're optimistic that this
Are
proposal.
we talking like hundreds of thousands of dollars over 20 years, or like millions of dollars over a week? What are we talking about here?
I hate to say on record, but we would be, if the filters that we originally planned for this system, our original cost estimates were approximately $4 million for just the filters, and that's a very small part of the piping and the extraordinary industrial components that go into feeding these filters. So if we can reduce that amount by a third or by a quarter or by 20%, then that cost savings would be roughly proportionate to reducing that $4 million.
It's of a much larger magnitude than what we're putting into this thing.
It's a much larger value than what we're putting into this. It would be in the hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, I won't hold you to it. I just wanted to know what the magnitude
Okay,
was.
thank you.
Okay.
All right, thanks.
Thanks, Francis.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Are you done, Joe?
I'm done, sorry. I'm ruining our record here.
Well, I'll make a motion that we accept the consent calendar as presented.
Second.
Motion second. Further discussion? Seeing none, Deborah, please take the roll.
Thorson?
Aye.
Malloy?
Aye.
Henderson?
Aye.
Borders?
Aye.
Wilhelm?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you very much. I just noticed I did not read the mayor's announcement, so I will do that under mayor comments. Public hearings tonight, we have none. Unfinished business, we have none. Citizens' issues is up next, and that's, this section of the agenda is reserved for citizens wishing to address the council on a non-agenda item. Anyone? Chief?
I promise to keep it to about 2 minutes. Just a couple things. One is Fire Prevention Week was this last week, and we spent some time in our public schools, probably contacting somewhere between 600 and 700 students this week in the 3rd and 5th grade. So I think that's been a good thing. This year's campaign with Fire Prevention Week has been to look at your smoke detectors and make sure they're not older than 10 years old. So for the citizens that are watching this or hear it later, Smoke detectors need to be replaced at 10 years of age, and you can find the date on the smoke detector itself, so it's something to be aware of. Obviously, testing it, and then we're going to be changing our clock and changing our batteries here in just a couple weeks as well. Something to be taken into consideration as well. My other hat I wear in the community is the chairman of the Post Falls Food Bank. And I'd like to invite each of the council to our annual Give Hunger the Bird. It's going to be on November 5th. And I'm going to be handing out an invite across the diocese here in just a minute. It's our major fundraising for the community. If you didn't know, the food bank feeds over 53,000 people a year here in this community, in the 83854 zip code. And anybody that comes into the food bank is never turned away without something. So it's a major undertaking for the board of directors. The food bank provides a valuable service. It tends to a lot of families' needs, and our market, if you haven't been over there, has been a resounding success, almost too good, as a matter of fact. So we're awfully proud of the accomplishments of the food bank. The staff over there does an excellent job, and so I'd just share this with you and invite you to attend as our major fundraising. Thank you.
May I add something to his comments?
Sure.
Just a reminder that the food bank receives no public money. It is all
Not raining
privately
meal.
funded by the generosity of the community. So that's an important distinction when they are having fundraisers.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks very much for your time.
Will I be able to pick up my raffle winning that night?
Well, and I think
I
that
bought the ticket.
And I sure hope you do, as a matter of
Thank
fact.
you for me.
Yeah, we will be selling additional raffle tickets that night. We hope the winner's there. And again, it's going to be a great event, but this is a major fundraising activity for the food bank each year. Thank you.
Thanks, Chief. Anyone else? Bob, come on up.
I'll keep it short also. Bob Flowers. I just had a quick question. I was reading kind of an interesting article about the city of Rathdrum, how they're finally having a fee increase for their wastewater, that they had not had any since 2012. And, but if it's my understanding that the city of Post Falls treats Rathdrum's wastewater. Now, we have been increasing our wastewater fees every single year for multiple years, but Rathdrum, who also uses our services, has not done it once since 2012. I just ask him why.
I don't believe that's accurate. Is that?
It may not be.
I'm
I
not
got my information from the Coeur d'Alene Press.
I'm not sure. I know Terry and I went to their public hearing before he left. When did you start, in 2015? So 2014, I know they did a rate increase because Terry and I attended the public hearing for it. But we increase our rates to Rathdrum. Rathdrum can choose to fund that in whatever manner they want to. They don't have to pass that rate increase on to their citizens. They can take it from their reserves. They've
been eating 10%, 14%, whatever, every year. That's just doesn't, well,
Again,
okay.
you heard me say in 2014, they took a rate increase. I was there for the public hearing, so I'm not sure that the information you've been
We'll get
provided is
information
correct.
for you. We'll
Yeah.
get back in touch with you on that.
Okay, I just was curious
Yeah,
about
but
it.
we do increase our fee. They are a customer
They
of our
receive,
system.
yep,
Every,
they receive a letter every year from the city of Post Falls explaining what their rate increase will be.
Thanks, Bob. Next item up is new business, and tonight we have none. Ordinances and resolutions, we have none. Are there any administrative or staff reports?
No, Jason was just explaining to me what Rathdrum has been doing is only increasing the rate by what Post Falls has increased and not increasing the portion of rate they keep for administration. So that's what that was referring to. And Brian's giving a
Brian's giving
thumbs up, so it
so
sounds
that's
like,
what it
we-
I was reading my previous story, that is correct. There's two sides of the wastewater, it's treatment and so that's correct.
and administration. So they have not been increasing the administration side since 2012.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks, Brian. Under mayor comments, I'll do the announcements because I messed up. Goosebumps, the final free movie event of the season, will be playing Friday, October 28th at 7 p.m. The movie will be in the Post Falls Middle School gym. Popcorn and candy will be provided. Thanks to the Park and Recreation Department and the Police Department for hosting these free family movies all summer. Residential fall cleanup will be Saturday, October 29th. Pickup will be a one-day citywide event. Items must be placed at the street by 6:30 a.m. All items are to be bagged, bundled, or in a garbage cart. Items must not exceed 4 feet in length and 4 feet in width. Furniture, tires, concrete, brick, or hazardous material will not be picked up. Appliances will be picked up by appointment only, excluding refrigerators and air conditioners. If you have questions, contact City of Post Falls at 777-4504 or Post Falls Sanitation 457-1820. Halloween is Monday, October 31st. Trick or treat at City Hall from 2 until 4:30 p.m. Bring the kids by for safe, fun trick or treating on Halloween. And those are my comments. Any council comments tonight? Nope. Seeing none? We do not need an executive session,
We do not.
so the next motion is?
Adjourn.
All those in favor? Aye. Meeting adjourned. Thank you very much.